things that you need to do as a quarterback to put yourself in a position to have some success against them?
I think the biggest thing is you got to keep having positive plays. They've been really good on third down, and they've got a good rush, good scheme with all the pressures that they bring. So, for you, got to stay ahead of the chains. Historically, the Baltimore defense has been really good, and so, just facing them so many years from my time in Cincinnati, understand that I've had a lot of good games against them.
The football has been pretty quick out of your hands this season. How do you go about managing that internal clock, obviously with some offensive line injuries in front of you, to make sure that ball's out fast?
Yeah, I think it's knowing what you're getting, knowing where you're going with the ball, and making quick decisions. I think that's what it comes down to. I feel like that's kind of how I've played throughout my career is, just knowing where to go with it, getting it out quick, and eliminate just taking extra hitches and waiting on things. So I think that's all part of it, and just playing this game is just being able to make those quick decisions.
Have you had to adjust though to the situation on the O-line in terms of being a little more conscientious about getting the ball out of your hand quickly?
Yeah, I think you trust the guys that they're going to get their job done, and so. I think it just comes down to knowing what we're doing, knowing the offense, knowing the play design, and making those quick decisions.
Andy, do you feel like you're getting into more time on task has allowed you to get a rhythm with your guys at all, or this is starting to feel like a normal thing, even if this schedule has been so strange here in the last 10, 11 days?
Yeah, for sure. I just think the more that we're able to practice, more that we're able to do things, I feel the more comfortable I'm getting, the more I'm understanding our guys, and I think that's been big. Obviously, the schedule's changed several times, and so for us, I think it's just making sure everybody's on the same page with everything that we're doing, and the communication with everything.
Do you feel you're getting to the call quicker than maybe you were when you first came in for Dak, or are there some things you can point to show how this is starting to feel a little bit different for you offensively since then?
Yeah, since I got here, I felt really comfortable with the offense and knowing everything that we're doing and knowing play calls and all that kind of stuff. So, I wouldn't necessarily say that, I'm making calls quicker or anything like that. I just think it comes down to actually playing with our guys and getting live game reps with them. And I feel like just the more you're going to do that, I think the better feel that you're going to have for the way guys run routes and the way guys are getting open and different things like that.
Feels like a really long time since the Washington game, and it has been. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about there were multiple scrambles that you had, and one certainly comes to mind where you dove head first. And I was just curious how much of your first slide was on your mind at all over the course of the game, or on certain plays. Was it instinctive to just dive a certain way, or what was some of the thought process there?
Yeah, I think for me, I've dove a lot in my career, and so that's even going back to college. I was doing some of that. So, I wasn't thinking about sliding or not sliding or all that kind of stuff. I was just playing and trying to get first downs. I think that's all I was thinking about. The hit I took wasn't in the back of my mind.
Did John Bostic kick you out, or vice versa? Was there any communication between you before, during, or after the game?
There was not.
Andy, what will it feel like to just get to Tuesday and know that you'll have a game in a few hours?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a long time since we've played. I think that's the thing with the schedule. We think you're going to have a Thursday game, then gets moved to Monday, then gets to Tuesday, and it just kept changing. So it'll feel good to get to Tuesday, get to game time, and get ready to play again.
Has it been difficult to keep keep track of what day it is?
Yes, it has. It's like, okay, today is technically a Thursday for us, and so, I think that's just kind of how your weeks go. Once you get the season going, you get in a routine and knowing what day is what, just based off your practice schedule and different things that you do. So, having to adjust and having to get used to, your practice schedule on different days. But yeah, I mean, for it to be a Saturday and feel like a Thursday, it's obviously a lot different.
How do you view this division race over the final 5 weeks of the regular season?
Everything's still out in front of us, and so for us, we got to worry about us. We got to worry about what we can control, and that's going to be these next 5 games. And we handle our business. We'll see how this whole thing shakes out. But there's still a lot of football left to be played.
What have you learned about Amari during this stretch here? And his production, he's on pace, I think, for a career high in catches and over 100 catches here in the season. What have you learned about him?
He's a great player, and he's been a great player ever since he got into the league. And you see the talent, you see what he's able to do. I think he's shown that, like I said, since the beginning. And so it's been fun to work with him and just to see the success that he's been able to have.
People talk about his route running. Can you talk about that a little bit? And is he a guy more often than not is always going to be in the exact spot where you expect him to be?
Yeah, I think he's so quick and he's got such good feet, and at the top of his routes, he's so good. And so, I saw it from afar for a long time, and then now getting to work with him and now getting to see it firsthand and getting to throw to him, you can definitely feel that. And so, you feel fortunate to have a guy like that can do so much. He's a vertical threat. He's also can take slants and get yards after catch and all that kind of stuff. So he's got all the talent that you want.
How would you describe what the atmosphere on the road is usually like in Baltimore?
I've played in some loud games there. Some, just they've got a great fan base, and so. Obviously it's different this year with everything going on, and won't have the fans and all of that. So, the crowd noise is kind of taken out of it.
When you're usually at the line of scrimmage in Baltimore, obviously that crowd noise is there. With it not being there on Tuesday, and this I know can be applicable to any road game, are you able to maybe manipulate things a little bit more at the line of scrimmage with your hard count, maybe make a defense bite a little bit more because it's so audible in such an empty stadium? Is that a factor, or has that been at all this year?
I think you can just use your normal cadence. You don't have to worry about going on a silent cadence and making sure guys are moving at the right time and all that. Not having the crowd in it, it doesn't matter if you're home or away. You're still able to use that verbal cadence, and so I think that's.
I wouldn't say it's really been that difficult. I know for me, we have our iPads. It's a mobile device, and I just use it when I'm here, when I'm not here, to stay on top of things.
What was it like to see Dak in practice out on the field? I'm sure you've seen him a bunch, but to see him out there with y'all yesterday.
I didn't see him out there yesterday. But yeah, you're right. I see him around the building a lot, obviously, in the training room a lot. It was nice to see him. I saw him in the weight room yesterday, and he was doing this version of squats that we do in the weight room. So that was really nice to see.
Amari, you faced Marcus Peters several times dating back to your days in the AFC West when he played for the Chiefs and you were with the Raiders. You guys have built up a rivalry and familiarity with each other over the years. From your previous one-on-one matchups and what you've seen on tape from him this week, what stands out about his coverage ability?
I would say the thing that stands out is, he's a ball hawk. He's always looking to make that big play for his team, to catch an interception or to get a PBU. And I would say that's the biggest thing.
we've asked you before about finally starting to get a little bit of continuity at quarterback here with Andy and how that helps. Can you talk about how that helps again, but also talk about you've had so many changes in the offensive line. Does that really kind of impact your plan going into these games and what you'd hope to do sometimes?
Well, to answer the first question, yeah, I mean, we do have more continuity at quarterback now, and we've been obviously the rep total. We've basically had a lot more reps with Andy as the QB1, and we have gained a familiarity with him, how he wants to throw the ball and things of that nature. And as far as the offensive line, you know, it happens every year, not with an offensive line, but with players on the team that you kind of have to swap in and out because of injuries. Because, you know, in this game, you know, injuries are 100%. Like somebody's on the team is going to get hurt, so it's just a part of it. And that's why you have coaches. They know how to game plan around things like that.
Andy's been getting rid of the ball pretty quickly this season. How, as a receiver, do you have to be conscious of that and just aware of your route running?
I mean, it's a good thing, you know, for a quarterback to get rid of the ball, to get the ball out of his hands fast. Hey, the defensive linemen, those guys are fast, talented. They get to the quarterback real fast, and so, you know, when you get the ball out of your hands fast, you know, I would say it's a good thing. But I mean, if you want the ball at wide receiver, then you better get open fast.
Mark, what will it feel like to get to Tuesday after everything that this team has gone through, to finally know that it's game day?
I think it'll feel like a regular game day to me.
Anything else?
As challenging as this year has been, do you feel this team's still in a position with the way the division is, if you just kind of get a little equilibrium, a little traction here in these last 5 games?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely are still in the mix, and we definitely still have a shot at this thing. Obviously, with the circumstance that we're in regarding our division and things like that. So, yeah, definitely.
Mark, I was curious, because of, you know, where you guys are from an offensive line standpoint, are you running as many double moves as maybe you did, say, last year? Do you feel like that's kind of been